What's up, YouTubers? Today we're going to talk about the Benchmade Mini Adamas. This is a Shane Sibert-designed. This knife sports a 3.25-inch blade, made of CPM Crewware, which is very tough stuff. Love it. Actually, having since used the Spyderco Tough, I really like the Crewware. Very good stuff. This weighed in at 4.4 ounces and prices at $213. So I think it's very fair. If you want to just know my short opinion on this one for this particular knife and what you're getting on this is not an overpriced Benchmade. We'll get to that later. In terms of some comparison knives, I think on the lower end, for me, the Mass Drop Perpetua, this is a TJ Schwartz designed, made by Millet Knives, but it also has solid liners, just like the Mini Adamas does here all the way through. It's not just a cartridge like your normal one. G10 scales on the outside, fairly robust Nitro V steel. This one I got for like $100, I think. You can find this one around that price. So that would kind of be on the lower end of options. I think the AD 20.5 is also probably pretty good in terms of certainly kind of like blade profile. This one's a little bit thinner and slicier than is the Mini Adamas, but it's kind of in that range. This is $150, and again, it has full solid metal liners in there. So that would be the next level of the $150. And then if you kind of want to go to the higher end level, thinking about little strong tanks, the Hinderer half track for me, but of course that price is entirely different, and at $425. So that's going to be something that obviously takes it to a different level. But those are definitely some comparisons and alternatives, I think, for a knife of this particular size. Out of the gate, this thing is just extremely comfortable, and that's one of the things that you're going to notice about this is just super comfortable, very fidgety. Obviously, it has everything, left hand, right hand, works great. In terms of the pros, Benchmade did a level of refinement on this knife that I'm not used to of late. Really, they just did so many good things. The tang they really refined back there, and so it's not gritty. Usually you have to wear in Benchmade knives for, I don't know, 1,000 or 2,000 flips open, but this one actually feels kind of like a Hogue. So that's really great, not having that grittiness. They did a great job sharpening, did a very symmetrical edge bevel. Very proud of them. So yeah, this one, it also has a nice toothy grit to it that Crewware is great with. So did a great job sharpening. The move from D2 to Crewware, I think, was a great choice on this one. The previous models of these were in D2 steel, also a good one for the time. But the Crewware definitely is much better edge retention, and actually much tougher too, I think. Well, it's probably as good as D2 edge retention, but it is a tougher steel, so you can kind of beat this around a little bit. The full blackening of the hardware, if you take a look at this thing, they didn't kind of leave some liners or bits of liners or the axis lock, basically with satin. They blackened it all out, the hardware included. So very good job on that. Appreciate that once again. And I think they actually picked the perfect pocket clip on this one. It is fully reversible to the left-hand side, but it doesn't have the penis clip. This one has the very comfortable rounded clip. I kind of like the deeper basically that this one goes over their kind of short one on the bug out too. So this, to me, perfect choice. Just everything that they did really, in terms of the choices and the production of this, they did well, and it wasn't just kind of, half-assing it or second-thoughting it. The comfort in the hand, as I talked about, this thing does have jimping everywhere. You can see jimping there, jimping there, jimping there, jimping there, jimping. It's almost like the entire hand, but they do leave it smooth in the middle here. So comfortable in the hand, whether you're doing a pull grip, in the ice pick grip, everything's really comfortable. I am a medium large hands, and I think the large would probably fit me a little bit better. So that's really good. And I'll go ahead and intercut in here where my wife and I got her, we probably whittled for an hour and just made our own chopsticks. So I'll go ahead and put that in. Whittling our own chopsticks with the Benchmade Mini Adamas. Does a great job. Fits a small hand really well. Fits a medium large hand pretty good too. Okay. And yeah, so it worked really good for that, for doing just kind of fine work like this for a long time. And this one's really a worker, definitely. Let me go ahead and put the gloves on here. Whether it's right hand, left hand, This one definitely works well with gloves, retracts well, especially with these longer thumb studs, than some of their other models. It works actually great with gloves. And this one, with that jimping in there, that's where the smaller Adamas, the mini, I wish I had the larger one. Is in gloves, then it definitely starts to push onto each side of there, of the knife. So as far as with gloves, I think the larger definitely would have been a little bit better choice for me, but I'm not going to probably be wearing gloves too much with this particular one. So a lot of great things, and once again, just to reiterate, full steel liners there. So we don't have just a cartridge. Oftentimes you'll have the G10 with a cartridge insert. This one has full steel liners, gives it a definite amount of rigidity. And also one last thing, Benchmade's really positive production of this. You don't have to decide between having blade play and good action. This one actually has great action out of the gate. The ultimate, most slightest bit of blade play side to side, no up and down though. So again, just very good job on that, and really appreciate that. As far as the cons on this one, one thing Benchmade always does really well is a great Cerakote. And the only thing I would say is this tungsten colored Cerakote it's rough. So instead of making it smooth so it could glide through some things, it actually catches on some stuff. So let me go ahead and kind of demonstrate an example of that. When I was cutting various things, I just noticed that it doesn't quite glide through. And it's not just because it's a fatter blade, because I've had other fat blades, like that slicer grind. That's the hinderer there. This particular one is a fairly fat blade too, but because of this working finish, it kind of glides through a little bit smoother when you're doing any of those shorter cuts. So that's definitely kind of one of the drawbacks on this one. And then the last thing is the protruding ramp here. And actually, let me bring the 80/20 back in here, or 20.5, because this one also has where the shark lock release is. Up there are some positions where it's just uncomfortable, and that'll kind of dig into your thumb there. And I ran into the same thing on this particular knife. Of course, it's just not part of the lock mechanism. So I think they actually could have knocked that little ramp down just the slightest bit, because when you're here in the ramp position, perfectly comfortable. When your thumb is right up on top of it and at that, basically the break point in your thumb's joint there, it's perfect. However, if you just move the slightest bit forward and you're on the flat, one of the flats, very, very uncomfortable if you're having to push through something. Likewise, obviously, and you wouldn't really be doing it there. But that was just, that was kind of one of the things that I definitely ran into a little bit on this one. Overall, what I would say is this is a great little tank. Very fidgety, very, very left-hand friendly. That's right. I'm not great with my left hand, but I'm getting better at it. And this thing is a great little tank. It makes me want to get the large, and I can definitely say, Benchmade, go ahead and take a bow. There's no need, like so many other models, for us to have to buy aftermarket improvements, things like that. So yeah, hope you did enjoy this. If you did, like and subscribe, and have a great day for yourselves. Take care now.